Ranking the last 10 Stanley Cup Finals. This is part 1. At the 10th spot, I've got the 2021 Stanley Cup Final. On one side, you had a stacked Lightning team looking to go back-to-back, going up against the Montreal Canadiens, who up to this point were the underdogs in every series that they were in. But what made this matchup so intriguing at the start was the goalie matchup between Andrei Vasilevskiy and Carey Price, who were both having incredible playoff runs up to that point. But the series itself just fell flat. There was never a doubt as to who would win, as the Lightning took a 3-0 lead. Montreal won Game 4 to force Game 5, which the Lightning won 1-0, as Vasilevskiy got the shutout to seal the Cup victory. At number 9, I've got the 2023 Stanley Cup Final. Now, personally, this will always be my favorite, but this is an unbiased list, and looking at it from a neutral perspective, it was a bit of a dud. On one side, you had the Golden Knights, who had been close to winning a cup a few times in the past number of seasons, going up against the Florida Panthers, who started out the playoffs as the wildcard 2 team in the Eastern Conference and went on an incredible run to reach the Stanley Cup Final. The games in Florida were close and entertaining, but if you weren't a Golden Knights fan, then the games in Vegas were not, especially Game 5, where the Golden Knights scored 9 goals, which is the most in a cup-clinching game. At the 8th spot, I've got the 2017 Stanley Cup Final. Like the previous two on this list, there was a clear favorite and clear underdog, as the Pittsburgh Penguins were looking to go back-to-back, while the Nashville Predators had started out the playoffs as the wildcard 2 team in the Western Conference. As for the series itself, it had a number of blowouts, but it had an exciting and controversial Game 6. As it was 0-0 for most of the game, Nashville had thought they scored, but the official waved it off. Then with a minute 35 left, Patrick Hornqvist scored to give the Penguins the lead. Pittsburgh then scored an empty netter to cap off the back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. At 7, I've got the 2020 Stanley Cup Final. The top 6 on this list I think are all at least good. The bottom 3 I don't think are, and this is just kind of the middle. It's decent. You had two good teams in the Lightning and the Stars, but outside of that goal from Steven Stamkos, there aren't really many memorable moments from this series that I would go back and rewatch. Now, yes, the reason why it's so low is because there were no fans, but even then, had the Lightning won Game 5 in overtime to win the Stanley Cup, it would have been pretty cool, as opposed to winning 3-0 in Game 6. At the 6th spot, I've got the 2016 Stanley Cup Final. On one side, you had a very deep Penguins team led by Sidney Crosby going up against the San Jose Sharks, who were in their first final in franchise history. Another thing that makes this series fun to look back on is the goalie matchup, Martin Jones versus Matt Murray, who today aren't that great, but at the time were both pretty young and playing lights out for their teams. The series itself was pretty exciting and had some close games, but after Game 4, the Penguins' victory just felt inevitable, and they would end up closing out the series in 6 on the road. Like and follow for part 2.